All right, great. So, hello. So this is the first FAMExFIRE live within the community, but it's also our first kickoff for 2024. So I'm really excited for you to be joining us or watching the recording. And what we'll be doing as part of these monthly kickoff calls is just really checking in around the challenge for the month, talking about some things that we should be doing in this period, and really just kind of celebrating our wins. So I'm going to jump right in, as I always do, and we're going to look at the checklist for this month. So these are the things that we should really be doing during the month of January inside our businesses to make sure that, one, we're ahead of the game, but we're also compliant. Yay, love compliance. All right. So this is the first time we're seeing this. So I'm going to walk through all of the boxes and all the steps, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right. So for January, our priority checklist, what I want you to do is enter your business name here. Maybe you have more than one entity and you want to print a couple of these out or have a few of them saved. Well, we want to make sure we're organized. So make sure to list the name of the entity you're focused on, your profit goal for the month. So this is after expenses. We're not going to do a revenue goal. We're not going to do an expense goal quite yet. We're just going to say, what is our bottom line goal? So after you pay all the bills and the money comes in, what's left over for you? Right below that in green, we have the actual. So when we do our check-in next month, we'll kind of see, all right, how are we tracking against that goal? Next, for this month, and this box will change. So this is kind of a mixed bag here, but for this month, it's going to be our KPI focus. So KPI, if that's new for you, that's fine. It stands for key performance indicator. So inside of your business, what indicator of your performance do you want to focus on? That could be number of subscribers. That could be customer reviews. It really is going to be specialized to your business, your industry. So you can see, all right, what's a driver of satisfaction? If you're a restaurant, that might be 5-star reviews. Whatever that indicator or focus is, list that here in this box. And if I didn't mention it before, love this spreadsheet or this PDF because it's fillable. That means you don't have to do anything extra. You can just simply click in and type in the box. So make sure you download it, save it somewhere handy, and you can complete all of this on your own. Next thing is goals. So I want you to select one goal. We'll actually be doing two, but one goal first. Try to be sure to make it a SMART goal. So look up that acronym, but it should be specific, measurable, et cetera, et cetera. So one goal that you have for the month. And then what you'll do is actually break it down into steps. So I like to call them tactics and techniques. So what 3 actions would help you get towards that goal? And then also keeping this time bound. That's why there's a due date. So it could be due in a day, it could be due in a week, it could be due at the end of the month, but sometime within the next 30 days, this action step should be completed by this date. And then after that due date, you should spend a moment to reflect. So reflection could be, hey, knocked it out of the park. It could be, actually, didn't really go as planned, but this is what I learned. So don't beat yourself up about the goal or, get to a point where you're not actually looking at this sheet again, because that's what we want to avoid. We want to avoid that negative self-talk that keeps us in the same habits and routines. So we're trying to break out of those things. Excuse me. All right. So same thing for the second goal. We're going to have the tactics and techniques below. I see a typo here, so I'm going to clean that up. So disregard that for now. But this is where we really have the meat and potatoes for January. So business, finance related tasks. I have a few items listed here. Now, you may have your own tasks and checklists, but as your accountant, putting my accountant hat on right now, what are the things that I want to I guess, spell out for you or bring to your attention. So by the 7th of January, you should respond to any Ask the Client. So ATC is a acronym that I use internally with my bookkeeping clients. But essentially, those are transactions that when we do the bookkeeping, we categorize everything, but some things we need more detail. So if it comes over and the bank fee just says Venmo or PayPal, those are really common. And there's not enough information to know where to categorize it, or mobile deposit if you're using, depositing checks. I don't know what that really is. It could be an owner investment. It could be revenue. It could be a refund of some sort. So respond to those items for your accountant, or make sure you categorize the remaining 2023 items so you can complete your bookkeeping. That's really important, because coming up next, we'll see a few other deadlines that are coming up. So these numbers are really going to inform what you're doing come the 15th of the month. All right. So we really, really, really want to make sure that we get all the categorization done by the 7th. That way, by the 10th, we can review the year-to-date P&L and plan your possible Q4 estimated tax payments. So if you get to the end of the year and you have a profit of some sort, you may say, okay, I may owe some money on this to the government, whether that's federal or state. You may want to start thinking about making that payment. Now, the next item is the payment itself. It's due the 15th. I always use the general due date. If there's a holiday or it falls on a weekend, it can be pushed off to another day or two, but I like to use what is the standard. That way, when I'm thinking about this every year, I'm not really worried about, okay, what day does it fall on? I just know for myself, all right, 15th of January is really important to me. So 15th of the month, you'll either need to make an IRS or federal estimated tax payment, depending on your 2023 activity, or you might make a state payment as well. So definitely want to highlight this due date. So that's something that you should be planning for. So I know it's already January and these days are ticking by, but let's really try to push to, do a reflection on 2023, make sure we really own those numbers and we make decisions as to what I want to do next inside of the business. All right. Next up, we have the 15th. Prepare 1099s for independent contractors or send a request to your CPA. So whether you're preparing them yourselves or you're going to have myself or another entity prepare them for you, your goal should be to get those requests out, to have all those W-9 forms ready or W-8s, have the dollar amounts that you paid each contractor determined. That way they can go out before this next due date, which is January 31st. You want to get those 1099 NECs and MISCs, miscellaneous. You want to get those two out to your contractors at a minimum by the 31st. It's always great to give them extra time, because once they get that, they can most likely go ahead and file their own taxes, but that's just how the cycle goes. So again, why is that important? Well, if you don't file your 1099s and you get audited, the government could potentially say, hey, you didn't send your 1099, so we're going to disallow that expense. When an expense is disallowed, essentially you're not getting that write-off. So an expense is almost synonymous with a write-off. So we want to get all of those expenses and write-offs that we can claim legally. So be sure to send those 1099s. And I'm sure I've said it in another video, why they're so important. Just make sure that you get that compliance done. All right. So now these are general things, not tagged to a specific due date. You may have your own due dates related to them. You may not even be in the process of doing some of these things, but I want to get them in front of you at the beginning of the year so you can plan out your year accordingly. All right. So the first one is review payroll for the month or set up payroll for the year. So maybe you don't have payroll set up. Maybe you reviewed your 2023 P&L earlier in the year and you realized, hey, I did my estimated taxes. This is more than I really want to spend right now, all at one time. Maybe I want to spread that out throughout the year. Maybe this is my first time doing estimated taxes and I didn't really enjoy it. I'd rather have a set it and forget it approach. Now we're not really forgetting it. So, but a set it approach, right? Maybe payroll implementation might be something to explore for 2024. If that's you, you can always connect with me. You can book a consultation on my website, or you can call the contact number at the bottom of this form and schedule a meeting with me. But either way, if you're looking to set up payroll or just trying to understand what that might entail or encompass for the year, definitely reach out to me. Next is make remaining retirement plan contributions or set up a retirement plan. So you've made your last estimated tax payment for 2023. You still have time to actually set up a retirement plan if you have cash available and put some of that money towards your own retirement. So put some of that money away, potentially even reduce some of your tax liability. So this is a great tax planning strategy that you can use. So just think about that. Again, if you aren't very familiar or you have some questions, let me know. Personally, I use ADP and my other clients can speak to this. You can use whatever system you want. I like ADP because you can always just reach out to them and they can create a retirement plan for you, 401ks, get all the plan docs and everything done, set up the payroll. So it's a very seamless setup and it's meant to streamline things and keep it easy, right? We really want to make sure that this is easy. You have a lot of other things that you need to focus on. Next, meet with your financial advisor to create a plan and goals for the year. Your CPA or your accountant often is not the same person as your financial advisor. They do different things. So while we may be talking about tax strategies, we may be talking about bookkeeping, how you spend your money or how you invest it, that's the purview of your financial advisor. If you do not have one already, I have people I can recommend. They have virtual appointments available. But again, we're really setting up that dream team for the year. So I'm going to hold everyone to the higher standard and just say you should be meeting with them. If you don't have one yet, that could be one of your goals that you set for 2024. Set personal budget based on what you plan to pay yourself. So this is highlighted in green because it's directly related to our monthly challenge. So I'm going to skip this one for now because we'll get into the monthly challenge right after. But that should be something that we're putting on our radar for this month. Last but not least, set business budget for the year based on prior year or current projections. So if you have one in place already or you already came up with something, great. If you already have something, let's revisit it. Let's refine it. We're always looking to improve it. If you haven't created anything yet, great. That's fine too. We can get that done in January as well, especially around the time that you're reviewing your end of year or 2023 bookkeeping or activity or just getting those numbers together. This is a great time to kind of set some of those goals, not just for yourself, but for your company. All right, so the monthly challenge, really excited. I wish I had a blowhorn right now. So the goal for this month is to create or refine personal money habit. Now, I thought we were focusing on our businesses. Well, how you deal with your personal finances is often an indicator of how you will handle your business finances. So if you do not have a P&L or some type of tracking system for your business, chances are you're not really as focused on those things in your personal finances and vice versa. So we want to make sure as we're getting our business together that we're not letting our personal finances go by the wayside either. And that's really important when we get to that payroll piece, because the question is, how much should I pay myself? And really, it's all interrelated. So if you're not enjoying the experience of doing estimated tax payments and doing those calculations, then maybe you need to create automations inside your business and inside your life so that you don't have to sit every quarter to do those calculations. One of the ways you can do that is by setting up payroll for yourself. How much should I pay yourself? Well, how much do you need to just, live the life that you dream about, right? So maybe you're not completely I'm dreaming about this life right now, but the life that you have, what does it cost to sustain yourself? So this is why figuring out what you're actually spending on for your personal life is really important, because that number will help dictate, all right, well, how much may I want to potentially pay myself in payroll? If my company is not there yet, well, maybe this is that goal or that budget that I'm starting to build into and work towards for the rest of the year. So how are we going to get there? So I'm essentially walking you through the steps for how you would go about actually doing this setup or getting this goal done. So the first thing you would do is create a free Wave personal profile. So if you already use Wave accounting for bookkeeping, they automatically give you a personal profile. So personal, it doesn't have all of the same features as the business, like you're not sending invoices or doing any of that, but you have the same ability to link your bank account and also categorize your transactions. They also give you different categories that you would more often see when it's a personal account. So what would you do next is essentially follow the steps of link your personal account and credit cards to Wave. What this will do is create a live feed so that the transactions are coming into the software, and then you can essentially start to pick the different categories. So, Starbucks, restaurants and meals, AMC, entertainment, your hairstylist, beauty, so on and so forth. So you can start to kind of put things into budgets at the end of the month, at the end of the challenge. We'll do a reflection and check in to see, what does your personal profit and loss statement look like? How much were you spending in each category? Because essentially that's going to let you know, okay, I really like that number. Okay, I can reduce or stop some spending in other areas. This will help set the foundation for future monthly challenges. So it's really important that you use this tool. It's free. Or another tool. I'm not gonna tell you what mechanism or technique to use. It's just more important to make sure that you have access to this information throughout the year, at the end of the challenge, at whatever point that you're going to look at this. All right, so the next thing you're going to do is pick your reward. So you created your account, you linked it, the transactions are coming in. Before you even start any of the work, I want you to give yourself a reward or a goal for, hey, if I do this for the whole month or I complete the challenge, what's in it for me, right? Not just the numbers, but, give yourself some type of treat, something that you really enjoy. Maybe for me, it'd probably be something like a massage. I love massages. But just want to make sure we create some type of incentive for us. And you'll see here, I have this listed here saying think ITTT. So if this, then that. So if I complete this goal, then that will happen, and enter reward there. Schedule time to review Wave or whatever tool or mechanism you're using to support you with this challenge. Put it on your Google Calendar. So whether it's 15 minutes a week, this is probably not something that you're going to be doing daily unless you're really like swiping your card that often. I don't know if we're doing hundreds of transactions in a day, typically not, but if you set it on your calendar, you're more likely to actually be accountable to actually really get it done. So my recommendation, once a week, put 15 minutes on your calendar, and just in the location, drop the URL for the accounting categorization part of Wave. So when you go to accounting, you go to transactions, and then that's where you can see everything listed. I look at this website all the time, so I have like the whole site map in my head, but anyway, that's another point. When you're in that transactions page, copy the URL and put it into the location of the Google Calendar event. If you are working from your computer or even from your phone, when that event pops up, you can simply just click on the URL and it'll pull up the page. It'll bring you to log in, and then you'll get directly straight onto the page that you want to use. My pro tip here, and what I actually do is before I even copy the URL, I actually apply a filter to say, only show me transactions that I haven't reviewed. Reviewed is when you click that green checkbox, that little circle with a check mark in it. I click on that to mark as transactions reviewed, saying, oh, I put it in a category. I'm happy with this category. This is the right place. Reviewed. I filter for not reviewed so that when I click the link to go to that page or to go to the transactions, because it's my time of my 15-minute block in the week to look at my transactions, it's already filtered. So I'm only seeing what's not been categorized. That way it doesn't feel like a huge task. I can easily see, all right, 5, 10, 15 things to kick through in the next 15 minutes. And it doesn't feel as daunting as seeing the full list pop up in front of me, even if I've reviewed it already. I want to create little hacks in my life to essentially trick myself into thinking, oh, this is easy. I can knock it out. All right. So next thing we have, so we schedule time. So that's once a week, 15 minutes to review your transactions and get them in the right categories. Review week 1 and 2 activities. So at some point in the month, we reflect, right? So if you're part of the FAMExFIRE community, we have these meetings set up. So we will have a power hour within the month where we'll actually just jump on a Zoom together and like complete a task. You can complete whatever task is important to you. Maybe it's actually sitting in that time to review your bookkeeping or do it if you haven't done it yet. So make sure you also have that review time scheduled in. So that check-in, and then reviewing the remaining monthly activities. So this is going to be after you do that 1 and 2 week review, complete the rest of the weeks. And then the last step is always repeat what works and refine the rest. So if setting it in your Google Calendar was working and it was really great and helpful for you, maybe turn that last one into a recurring event. So every, Monday at 2 p.m. or whatever time you want, it just will automatically be there on the calendar if that works for you. If that doesn't work for you, and maybe you're someone who likes a physical copy of a planner, go in and start writing your things down. Everyone learns in different modalities. So maybe you are someone who's a visual learner, an auditory learner, whatever it is, do what's best for you. So this monthly challenge is not another, hey, I need to check every single box and do it exactly this way. It's a framework that you can use to potentially support yourself with a goal that you may have, but don't get hung up on what it looks like. Focus on what my goal or my intention is and stick to that, right? Let's try to stick to I'm struggling today. It's the first live of the year, but I'm being honest, I really enjoyed my break and I'm struggling today, but that's okay. I'm getting into the swing of 2024, so this will not be every month, right? But really honor the purpose and intention that you have with your goals, and let's let go of all of the beat up and negative self-talk around things. So for someone who's this might be new for them and they're looking for, all right, just give me the cliff notes and what should I do to get there? This is your list. You can try this out. And if this doesn't work for you, please feel free to substitute any of these for something else that supports you. Now we're almost at the end. If you so feel and you wanted to just have some other notes that you list here, this is also a fillable space where you can type different things. You can type whatever it is. Maybe you want to put some notes. Maybe you actually print this out and you just want to physically write in the boxes. That's great. Maybe you're like me and I like vision boards. So maybe you could use a space for for virtual stickers or little pictures of, things you want to call into your space or just be creative for this month, and you can put these into these spaces. But these blue boxes are really for you to make them whatever's useful to you. So that's why there's nothing in there. I didn't just, want to color code the page, or I forgot to fill it in. No, this was intentional. I want you to use these however you see fit. And stay connected. So if you aren't already a member of our online community, it is a self-paced online learning platform. You can complete courses, you can follow along with our monthly challenges, but everything is going to be at your pace. So if you're a member of the community, everything is available to you there. So everything is kind of packaged and just laid out very seamlessly for you. You can always check out that QR code to get there. If you want to get straight to the coaching corner, so that's where essentially we lay out the different activities for the month. We'll have our power hour listed there. We'll have our speaker for the month who will also kind of talk about the same topic of getting our numbers together, bookkeeping, but this is geared towards small business owners. It's really good. I already recorded that session and it's already edited and ready to go, but essentially it's going to drop later this month. And it'll also give you a refresher or maybe just some new information if you're a new business owner. You created your LLC and you're hearing some of these terms. I want to work with a CPA or an accountant, and I'm a little intimidated because I'm not really sure what I should be looking at. We walk through this together. So you'll join me with Vaughn Marie Thomas, who will be speaking about business, bookkeeping, and accounting. And then last but not least, I have to bring it up. It's tax season, right? So we're about to roll into tax season. If you're looking for any accounting or tax services, bookkeeping, entity formation, any of those things, you can scan my QR code. It brings you directly to the service site where you can see all the services we offer, our pricing, and everything there. So again, I am really excited to kick off January and kick off 2024. And I'll be using this myself. So I'm going to be holding myself accountable when I come and I kind of speak about my goals and we do our check-in and kickoff next month. I will have my own things to share about how I did. So make sure if you are a bookkeeping client, this is going out with your year-to-date P&L. So I'm sending out the P&Ls this week. And I will be sending you your checklist as well. You're free to use it. If you're a member of the community, you already have access. If you are not a member and you just want to, kind of follow along or create something similar for yourself and check in on your own, great. Either way, I just want to make sure that we're really all just being abundant. We're manifesting what it is that we want to call into 2024. And we're supported and we're just really a community working together to just make sure that we're exploring and manifesting all the things that we deserve. So with that being said, I'm going to end right there. And I'm going to say thank you for joining us today and looking forward to hearing from you all. And if you like this and you enjoyed it, great. If you'd like to join our community, awesome. I will be sharing a 1-month free code below this video once it's all up and live on YouTube. So make sure you check out that website. So the website is www.FAMExFIRE.com. When you select your membership, you have the option to put in a promotion code. The promotion code is FXF1, the number 1, month. So that is the code. You can get 1 month free. It does not expire, but if you want to join, become a member, 1 month free. That's the gift that I'm giving for today. So until next time, I will see you all in the virtual space and looking forward to hearing from you. So leave a comment if you enjoyed this and be sure to like, subscribe, all that YouTuber jargon, but please support and come back.